Italy, known for its driving passion, has updated its highway code. These new traffic rules aim to enhance road safety and reduce accidents. Notable updates include stricter regulations on alcohol consumption while driving. This article will cover key aspects of these new rules, focusing on alcohol-related offenses. Here are the major areas the new 2024 road code addresses. One novelty is the lifelong license suspension for driving under the influence of drugs and committing serious offenses, like failing to stop after an accident. High school students taking driving education courses will gain 2 additional license points. Violations like exceeding speed limits between 10 and 40 kilometers per hour will result in a 7 to 15-day license suspension and a 20-point deduction. Other violations include running red lights, illegal turns, prohibited overtaking, failing to yield, disobeying traffic officers, unsafe distances, driving against traffic, and highway violations. Offenses leading to short license suspensions also include improper helmet use on mopeds and motorcycles. Also, improper use of restraint systems and anti-abandonment devices, and using a mobile phone while driving. For very serious and repeated offenses, the driving license may be permanently revoked, with suspension periods doubled if an accident is caused. A driver with fewer than 20 points penalized for smartphone use may face both short and regular suspensions. Driving under the influence of alcohol in Italy. New traffic rules. The new Italian traffic rules establish specific regulations for driving under the influence of alcohol. A blood alcohol level between 0.5 and 0.8 grams per liter incurs a penalty from 573 to 2,170 euros and a 3 to 6 month license suspension. For a BAC between 0.8 and 1.5 grams per liter, penalties include arrest for up to 6 months, a fine between 800 and 3,200 euros, and a 6 to 12 month license suspension. Exceeding 1.5 grams per liter BAC results in 6 to 12 months imprisonment, a fine from 1,500 to 6,000 euros, and a 1 to 2 year license suspension. The road code bans drinking alcohol before driving, and repeat offenders must install an Alcolock. An Alcolock is a device that prevents a vehicle from starting if the driver is intoxicated, functioning like a breathalyzer. The driver must blow into the device, and if a high BAC is detected, the vehicle will not start until the level drops. This system, introduced in 2020, is mandatory for heavy vehicles in many European countries. A positive test leads to immediate license revocation and a 3-year ban on obtaining a new license. Driving under the influence of drugs in Italy. Positive saliva tests result in license revocation and a 3-year ban. The new 2024 road code changes drug driving rules. Psychophysical impairment is no longer necessary for an offense. A positive saliva test alone is sufficient for license revocation and a minimum 3-year ban. Law enforcement can take saliva samples roadside, following Ministry of Interior directives. If roadside testing isn't possible, drivers can be taken to healthcare facilities for sample collection. Even if laboratory results are pending, a positive roadside test allows law enforcement to withdraw the driving license. Speeding. Exceeding the limit by 10 to 40 kilometers per hour incurs a penalty from 173 to 694 euros. Repeated violations in built-up areas can lead to fines from 220 to 880 euros and a 15 to 30-day license suspension. Speed cameras can now detect multiple violations, including speeding and expired vehicle inspections. New rules, effective May 28, 2024, state speed cameras can only be placed in high-accident areas where immediate verification is difficult. Speed detection devices cannot be installed on roads with speed limits less than 20 kilometers per hour below the maximum general limit. Speed cameras are prohibited in urban areas with limits below 50 kilometers per hour, in Zone 30 roads, and on extra-urban roads with limits below 90 kilometers per hour. Mayors cannot install speed cameras for electronic speed control if the obligation is to travel at 90 kilometers per hour or less. If multiple speed camera fines occur on the same road section within an hour by the same authority, only the most serious penalty, increased by 1/3, will be paid. Speed cameras must be clearly signaled with a sign at least 1 kilometer away. Previously, photos accompanied speed camera fines. This will no longer be the case. Fines will still arrive, but without a photo of the vehicle. Photos will be kept by authorities and available upon request for appeals. Privacy must be guaranteed, so faces and license plates in speed camera photos must be obscured. Both speed cameras are now approved to detect speed in Venice canals. Mobile phones while driving. License withdrawal for 1 week if the offender has 10 to 20 points. Those with fewer points face a 15-day suspension. First offenses incur a fine from 250 to 1,697 euros and a 15-day to 2-month license suspension. Repeat offenders face fines from 350 to 2,588 euros, a 1 to 3-month license suspension, and an 8 to 10-point deduction. Bicycles. New rules require a minimum 1.5-meter distance when vehicles overtake bicycles. Electric bicycles must not exceed 250 watts of power or 30 kilometers per hour speed. Electric scooters must have insurance, a license plate, turn signals, and helmets are mandatory. Scooters can only be used on urban roads with speed limits below 50 kilometers per hour, not on cycle paths or pedestrian areas. The new Italian traffic rules send a clear message: no tolerance for driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. These measures protect lives and ensure road safety for all, not restrict freedoms. By working together, we can create a safer and more responsible driving environment.